In this video, you will learn how to add Facebook login functionality to your login page. So stay with me. Hey, what's up guys? Sinead here from codingpassiveincome.com, the place where I help others to become a web developer much easier and faster than they will do it on their own. So if that is something that interests you, consider subscribing. So now I'm here at my PHP store. I have created a new project, and in this project I have one folder image and there's one logo.png file, and also I have created an empty index.php file. So basically this index.php file will be my login page. So first I will quickly just create some basic login page. So I will declare new document. I will set here, let's say Facebook login, and then I will just quickly include the Bootstrap. So I will go to get bootstrap.com. I will go to the download, and then here I will use CSS CDN link. Okay, and I will include it in the head part of our document. So in the body I will create one container, and then inside this container I will have one row, and then let's say I will just justify content to the center, and inside this row I'm going to have just one column. So I'll say column MD, let's say 6, and maybe we can set column offset to 3, so that from the both sides we have everything in the center. And inside here I will just include my logo.png. I'll make 2 new lines, and then I will just create one form. So I'm not going to write any form here like method, action and other thing, because I'm not going to use it in this tutorial. So I will create one input, and let's say this will be placeholder name, make new line, and then this one will be email, or maybe we will just have email and password like this, and that's it. And then we will have one normal button, let's say value log in. Okay, and maybe we should set this as submit for this form, and that's it. So this should be one very basic design, but let's see what we have. So I'll go here to I have uploaded everything to the here. Okay, and here's the basic design that we have. So maybe we should just move everything down. So I will just say margin top, let's say 100 pixels. Okay, and maybe we can say here align center. Let's see what will happen. And here we go. So this is just the basic login page like you will normally have. So what am I going to do now? I will just add one new button here, and I will duplicate this, and I will say here log in with Facebook. You can of course include some login image that is just for the Facebook, but for the simplicity of this tutorial I'm not going to do this. So now, in order for us to be able to make any functionality here for this button, first we will need to include JavaScript SDK library. So for you guys, in order to include it, you will need to go to the developers.facebook.com/docs/javascript/quick-start, and down here you will have the basic setup, and all you need to do is just to copy this part here. So this will be almost always the same, and I will just paste it just before the closing body tag. And now if you check this code, you can see that we will need to have some application ID in order to use this. So I'm just going to create a new application. So I'll just go to developers.facebook.com, and then I'll go to my applications and then add a new application. So here I will just say login with JS, and then let's see, this will be my email. I'll hit create application ID. Okay, some captcha. It's all good. Now I'll go to the settings, and I need to add domain. Okay, and down here I will add platform and go to the website, and here I will say coinpassiveincome.com, and I will hit save changes. So now what we need is this application ID, so I'll just copy and I'm going to paste it here, and that's it. So now from this JavaScript SDK we will need to use facebook.login method. So first I will just say here that this will be a button, and then that on click we will call some function that is login. So here I will write function login, and then inside here I will say facebook.login, and then I will say function, and inside this function I will receive all the data as a response. So this is just our variable name that I'm using. You can write here anything you want, and then let's just say console.log response. Let's see what will happen and what will Facebook return to us. So again, quickly upload this. I will hit refresh, and then I have pressed F12 to open this. I'll go to the console, and then I'll hit login with Facebook. So now when you press that button, you can see now that Facebook is automatically created a new pop-up, and in this pop-up they have redirected us to this URL, and here this application is basically asking us to give them permission to the public profile data. And now if you want to modify these permissions, you will need to go inside your code, and now for this method you will then provide the second parameter, which should be an object, and we will say scope, and then inside here you will just write all the permissions that you want to have. So you can do quick research and say on Google Facebook permissions, and here you have a list of all permissions that you can ask for, and if you want you can just click on any of those, and when you do this you will then get a much better explanation what is included inside these permissions. So as you can see here, we can get a user ID, we can get a cover, a name, first name, last name, link, gender, locale, picture, time zone, verified, etc. So for us and for this tutorial I will just use public profile, and then I will use an email. Okay, and let's see what will happen now. So I upload again, and I will refresh. Okay, and I will hit again login with Facebook, and now as you can see here, this application that we have created is asking me now for the public profile and email address, and that is exactly what I have been looking at. So I will now just click here, continue, and now in the console you can see that there is a response from the Facebook, and this is an object, and inside this object we have a key status, which means connected, and then we have authentication response, and inside this authentication response we have access token, we have expire SYN, sign-in request, and we have user ID. So now all that we need to do and need to have is this status, that means that is connected. And if you get anything else like unknown or something else, that means that probably there is some problem, and you can go to the docs, go to the Facebook login, and somewhere in here you should be able to find what they are saying about each of those. So I'm not going to go through this docs, but if you are interested you can find it, and you will see that if this is means connected, that means that user has gave all the permissions and has been logged into the Facebook already. Anyway, now I want to get all the data, and I will just store it to the one object. So I'll say person equal, and then I'll say here we will have user ID at moment is empty, and then we will have, let's say, name, it's empty, we'll have access token, and maybe let's say we'll have picture, and let's just get an email too, and that's it. So now here from this first response I want to check if response dot status equal connected. If it is, we will go here. So once again we have status and it needs to be connected. Okay, and now we want to get an access token, so we'll get it by going to authentication response access token. So I will say person dot access token equal response dot authentication response dot access token, and then also we can do the same for user ID, because those are all the informations that we have so far. Now once we have this, and once we have stored everything inside here, I want that we use the next function or method from the Facebook, which is API, and on that way we are able to get other informations from the user profile. So I'll say here Facebook dot API, and then here we need to specify the graph object that we want to access. So I'll say me for now, and then for the second parameter I will specify the callback function, and I will again say, let's say user data, and I will say again console log user data, because I want to see what we have got here. So maybe let's make it like this, and I'll just upload. Okay, refresh. So let's now try again to log in Facebook. Now they didn't ask us about any permissions because we have already accepted all of them. And as you can see now, they have returned an ID, which is user ID, and they have returned a name. But what if we want to get an access to some others? So let's say if we go here for the public profile, we can also get, let's say, first name, last name, picture, and I will say here files equal, and then I'll say ID, name, first name, last name, email, and let's say I'll get picture, but the type will be large. And let's see what will happen. Quick upload, refresh, login Facebook, and here we go. So now in this subject you can see that I have got an email, first name, ID, last name, name, and now you can see that picture is another object, okay, and inside picture there is another object which is data, and inside this data we have a URL to get an access to the profile picture, and also we have width and the height of this image. So this is all that we need for now, and I will just save it to this person object. So I will say that person.name equal, and now if you remember we have here a variable user data, so I'll say user data dot, and now we need to just write it the name, so user data dot name. For the person dot email it is user data dot email, but we also need a picture, and we will get an access to the picture by going to the user data dot picture dot data dot URL. So it's quite long. Person dot picture equal user data dot picture dot data dot URL. Once again it is user data dot picture dot data and dot URL. Okay, amazing. And I will just remove this first and last name from here because we don't use it at all. So for that reason we don't need even to get it in this API call. Anyway, so now inside this person object we have all the data that we need to have, and now I'm just going to use an AJAX to just send all the data to our server, and on the server I will just create a new session, and on that way we will be able to log in this person. Of course this is applicable only if you have some other login types on your page, so on the server you will just create a session and other things, but if you only using Facebook login then probably you are not going to make this call, and you can just create everything inside here, inside the JavaScript, and use local storage or something, but probably that is not the best option. Anyway, I'll write here AJAX and I'll say new object, and here I will say that our URL is this file, okay, and then I will say method will be post, and then I will say the data that we are sending will be actually our person, and let's say that data type that will be returned by the server will be, let's say, text, and then we'll have one success function, okay, and then let's say the variable will be server response, okay, and now let's say the server will return success is if everything is okay. So I'll say if server response equals success, we will just redirect person to our, let's say, home PHP. So probably the better option will be that this index, the name has been like login, like this, and then we will redirect to the index if the person has been logged in, okay, and that's it. So now in the PHP part here I will need to modify first to the login, and inside here I will just write PHP, okay, and then as first line I will say session start, and here I'll say if is set post user ID. That's it. And here in the session I'm going to store user ID, name, email and picture. So I'll say session user ID equal post user ID. So I'll just duplicate this. I'll say here this will be email. I'll duplicate again. I'll have picture, and then we will have a name of the person. So I think that's it. User ID, name, picture, email, and I can also store an access token if I want to use it later for something. So, but access token is not that much important in our case. So now, once we have stored and created a session, I will just say exit, and here I will just say success. So of course, this is just a very simple, and I'm just trying to show you a way how to get the data from the Facebook profile and then send it to the server. And now here you can do anything you want with this data. You can store it to the database, you can just create a session, or you can do any other logic that you want. But for this tutorial, I'll just create a session so that you are able to redirect a person to the next page where we will just show his information there. So now, once we have created a session and said exit success, we will need also to have one file, let's say index.php, and here at the top I will first check, I will start the session of course, and then I will say if, maybe better, if not, is set session user ID, and let's say or not is session email. We will just use a header location login.php and hit exit. Otherwise we will just display all the informations. So again I will say HTML5, let's say this will be some members dashboard of course, and let me quickly include the Bootstrap again. So I'll copy this here, okay, and I will just copy the design from here because it will be almost the same, okay, and maybe I will have just one MD3, and let's say here I will just include a user picture. So I'll say image source, and then I will get it from our session. So I'll say echo session picture, okay, and that's it. And then I will have another column MD9, okay, like this, and I will just say user ID break, and then I'll say name break, and then email break. So now here I will just say PHP, okay, and I'll say echo session, okay, and here I'll say user ID, name, email. So this is something very simple, nothing special really here. And let's see, let's make a test of this. I'll say refresh, upload. And let's see what will happen. Refresh. So I'll say login with Facebook. Okay, and what I say now is not defined. Okay, so we have forgot to include the jQuery. So I'll go to the code.jquery.com. I'll click here on minified, and then I will just copy this. So here I will include it, and let's try again. Okay. Hit again login with Facebook, and as you can see now I have been redirected to our index.php, and here are all the details that we have got from our session, which is user ID, name, email, and then the picture. So guys, I hope that this is a very simple and useful tutorial for you. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments below, and also if you like this video, please like it and share it with your friends. Take care.